Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with explanation of chapter 2 of chemistry, that is matter around us pure? So a pure substance means a single substance or matter which cannot be separated into other kinds of matter by any physical process. In our layman term, what do we term as pure? A substance which is not adulterated is called a pure substance. Okay, that means which is composed of same type of element or constituent particle which is not mixed with anything else. That is called a pure substance. Okay, so to start with, first of all, I'll be introducing some basic terms. If we say type of substances, that is matter, that can be divided into pure substances and mixtures. These pure substances can be further classified into elements and compounds. Pure substances are the one which have a fixed composition. As I told you, they are made up of same constituent particles. These pure substances can be divided into elements and compounds. Okay, these elements are the ones which cannot be broken down. Elements are classified into three basic categories of metals, non-metals, and metalloids. Okay, metals, non-metals, or metalloids, not metalloids, metals and non-metals, they are composed of the same type of atom. Like if I talk about hydrogen, hydrogen is made up of only hydrogen atom. Even if it is a hydrogen molecule, H2, that will be made up by combinations of hydrogen atom only. On the other hand, compounds can be broken, but not by physical process. They can be broken down only by chemical processes. Like we say, water, that is composed of two different atoms, different type of atoms like hydrogen and oxygen, which combines to form H2, which we call a compound. Now this compound water cannot be broken into hydrogen and oxygen by physical process. For that we need a chemical process, right? On the other hand, mixtures are composed of two or more elements which are combined together but not in any fixed ratio. These can be further classified into homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures. So now we will be reading in detail about all these pure substances and mixtures one by one in detail. To start with, matter. What do we call matter? Anything which has mass and which occupies space is called a matter. So most of the things around us are matter. Matter can be classified into three types on the basis of the physical state as solids, liquids, and gases. That means, on the basis of a physical classification, if we consider only the physical state, matter can be classified into solids, liquids, and gases. Now, these are three states of matter which can be classified just on the basis of difference in arrangement of the atoms. This is what you have read in your chapter 1, that in case of solid, the particles are very tightly packed. That is, the interparticle space between them is minimum. That is why solids tend to have fixed shape and fixed volume. In case of solid, the particles are tightly packed. That is, the interparticle distance between them is minimum. That is why they have fixed shape and fixed volume. In case of liquid, these atoms have more interparticle space. You can see that these atoms have some distance or empty space in between them. So in this case, liquid will have a fixed volume but no fixed shape. We know that if we take a glass of water, that water will take the shape of glass. If we pour it in a test tube, it will take the shape of the test tube. That is because it is not having any fixed shape, but the volume of water will remain same. If it was 1 liter here, or it was suppose 10 ml here in the glass, it will remain 10 ml only in the test tube as well. Okay, so the volume remains the same, but shape is not fixed because the atoms are separated apart. In case of gases, distance between particles is maximum. That is why they don't have no fixed shape or volume. We know that if we take gas in a container, it will fill the entire container, because in case of gases the force of attraction between molecules is minimum. They are separated by farthest distance apart and they can move around freely. Okay, so this was classification of matter on the basis of the physical state into solids, liquids and gases. Next is on the basis of chemical composition, matter can be classified into two types: pure substances and mixtures. So on the basis of chemical composition, that is whether they are made up of same type of particles or different type of particles, we can classify matter into pure substances and mixtures. Pure substances are further of two types, that is elements and compounds, and mixtures are homogeneous and heterogeneous. What did we say? Matter can be classified into pure substances or mixtures. Pure substances can be elements or compounds, and mixtures can be homogeneous and heterogeneous. Okay, it was Dalton who said that pure substances are made up of only one kind of atom. This is the atomic arrangement. This we will read in the later chapters. So pure substance is the one which consists of single type of substance. Pure substances can be element or compound. Like if we talk about iron or copper or hydrogen, they are made up of same type of element. If you are taking a block of iron, it will be having all the particles, all the atoms of iron only. If you are taking oxygen, oxygen molecule will be composed of the oxygen atom only. If we take water, water is not an element. It is a compound, as I told you, because it is made from hydrogen and oxygen, but it is all basic water molecule only. If you take water, the basic component will be water molecule, it will be H2O only. So that is why it is a pure substance. So pure substances are the one which are having the same constituent particle throughout. Okay, they are not composed of different type of particles. On the other hand, mixture is a substance which consists of two or more pure substances. For example, if we take soil, or you take air, or we take sand and salt, these are examples of mixtures, because mixtures are made by joining two or more elements. Mixtures are made by joining elements, but these elements are not combined together in any fixed ratio. Suppose I take just a handful of sand and a handful of salt and I mix them together. What have I made? I have made a mixture, but it is not having any kind of fixed composition, right? So differences between pure substances and mixture are: pure substance consists of single type of substance, mixture consists of two or more pure substances. Pure substances cannot be separated into other substances by physical methods. That means from H2 I cannot separate hydrogen, or from H2O I cannot separate hydrogen and oxygen by simple physical methods. I need chemical processes for that. Mixtures, on the other hand, can be separated easily. How? Like suppose you have taken mixture of sand and salt, that you can separate. How? I put some water in the mixture and salt will get dissolved. Then by filtration I can separate the sand. Okay, and that salt I can further separate from water by evaporation. Pure substances has its own definite properties, as I told you, because it is made up of same type of constituent particles, same type of atom. They have definite properties. Like if I take a jar full of hydrogen gas, each and every particle will show the property of hydrogen only, because that is made up of the same basic constituent, that is hydrogen atom. And mixture shows the property of its components. As I told you, that mixture is two elements combined together but not in any fixed ratio. Suppose I am taking a mixture of sand and and iron nails. Those iron nails I can separate with help of a magnet. So this was a mixture which was showing the property of iron as well. Iron has property of getting attracted to magnet. So even if I am mixing iron with the sand, this iron can be separated with help of magnet from mixture also. So that means mixture shows the properties of its components. Okay. Now, whereas if we talked about compound, like I said, that it does not show the properties, like water, that is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen both are gases, whereas H2O, water, that is a liquid, right? So the property of compound is different from the constituent elements. So types of pure substances, there are two types, elements and compounds. Element is a basic form of matter which cannot be broken into simpler substances. They are further divided into metals, non-metals and metalloids. Metals, this we have read in our earlier class also, that they are solid at room temperature except mercury, which is a liquid. Metals have a crystal lattice, that is their atoms are closely packed. Okay, that is why they tend to have a solid structure and a solid shape. They are hard, lustrous, that is they are shiny. Also they are sonorous, they produce ringing sound, and they are good conductors of heat and electricity. Okay, metals, they are malleable and ductile. They can be beaten into sheets and they can be drawn into wires easily. They are sonorous, as I told you, they produce ringing sound, and they have high melting and boiling points. Non-metals, they are either gases or solids at room temperature. Okay, they are most of the time they are gases or they are solids, but we have exceptional cases in non-metals as well. They are dull, means they are not lustrous, they don't shine. They are poor conductors of heat, electricity, and they are quite soft, they are quite brittle. If you take charcoal and if you strike its surface with a hammer, it breaks down. Similarly, other non-metals, they are brittle, means they break easily, they are not solid structures. Non-metals are non-malleable and non-ductile. We cannot draw wires or make sheets out of it because they are soft in texture. They're non-sonorous, they do not produce ringing sound, and they generally have low melting and boiling point. Compound is a pure substance which contains two or more elements combined together, as I gave you example of water, H2O. It is a combination of hydrogen and oxygen element to form a compound. But this compound cannot be broken down again into hydrogen and oxygen by physical processes. This you can read additional. We have types of compounds as inorganic and organic. Inorganic are obtained from non-living sources such as rock and mineral, and organic are obtained from plants and animals. Example of inorganic compounds: common salt, carbon dioxide. Organic: methane, ethane, alcohol. Because methane, ethane or alcohol, they are obtained from plants and animals. You have read destructive distillation or fractional distillation of petrol, where you get various components. So where from were you getting those components? Those were from the fossils, from the either from the fossils we are obtaining our fossil fuels, or coal, petroleum, again from the dead remains of the organisms which are buried under the surface of earth. So that is why they are called as organic compounds. Okay, so compound is composed of same elements in the fixed ratio by mass. Pure compound is homogeneous. Homogeneous means something which is having same composition throughout. If I take water molecule you pick from anywhere from water sample, that will be made up of H2O, two atoms hydrogen, one atom of oxygen. Okay, so the basic constituent remains the same, that is why it is called homogeneous. It is formed as a result of chemical reaction between the constituent elements. Whenever a compound is formed, that means chemistry has happened, some chemical reaction has taken place. That is why two elements have bonded together, right? Okay, So I think that would be all for today. uh, Revise up to this, and next topic I'll take in the next video. Okay, bye bye.